Hello and welcome to another video. Today we are going to be talking about what makes video games scary, and I'm doing this video because, ignore the thumbnail, I'm doing this video because I've been playing Alien Isolation and I'm already terrified after only playing about 2 hours. So let's begin. You walk into a dimly lit room, a single light bulb dangling above a physically deformed man sleeping in a chair. There's pus dripping from open sores in his face, and there is a knife in his lap. Strands of brown hair are clutched in his hand. Your hair is brown. There's no sound except for your ragged breathing and the soft noise of nails scraping across a chalkboard. You are not alone. Everything is spiders. Suddenly the door shuts behind you, the light goes out, and you hear the chair scrape as the man gets up. Long story short, you're absolutely terrified and you're absolutely screwed. But why are you terrified? What about all this stuff that makes you feel fear? We're gonna start with darkness. Something video games always use. It's the go-to setting for horror games and even scary scenes in normal video games. Heck, Amnesia's main mechanic was based around it. Dr. Rakison explains that, and I quote, "Because darkness at night in particular has been such a recurrent context for humans throughout human history." End quote. Darkness has been an issue for us even before we were top rung on the food chain, and many of our current fears and phobias stem from back in our evolutionary past. The inability to see what is around us triggers humans' evolved fear mechanisms because it suggests that potential unseen threats may be close by, Rakison said. Humans were never the best at night. All of the predators that were around us in the wild were much more adapted to darkness, to suit darkness. Therefore, we grew accustomed to fear the night and not wanting to venture off. Which, again, using the example of Alien Isolation, you don't want to move anywhere. When you've just heard a sound like voices or the alien crawling through a vent, you get into a dark corner and you hide and you never want to move ever. And the 2 times I have actually moved from that position, I've died both times. So it seems to be better not to. Now we're going to look at why video games isolate people. Well, humans are a social species, even for us gamers. During a casual session of an MMO like Star Wars The Old Republic, you can interact with hundreds of other humans. The entire premise of Mario Party revolves around the fact that, on some level, humans like each other. One of the primary mechanisms in early human development is attachment, Dr. Rakison informed people, saying that we develop this notion that other people in our lives give us a safe haven when we're around them, and so whether you're an introvert or an extrovert, a good friend or positive social setting will always make you feel good. Which of course means that horror games have to kill all your friends and leave you alone. You're only one pair of eyes at the end of the day, only one field of vision. Nobody to catch your mistakes, nobody can save you. Honestly, it all comes back to tigers. If it's night, a tiger can eat you. If you're alone, a tiger can eat you. When you're scared, just think of how it pertains to a fear of tigers. How many times... So now we're going to look at insanity, which is something video games seem to like, especially horror games. How many times have you had this conversation? Hi, how are you? Good, and you? Oh, just fine, that's good, yep, okay, bye. At this point, that interaction has nothing to do with actually understanding how someone is doing, and more to do with saying, hey look, I'm just like you. It's a social contract that healthy, functioning individuals follow. But we would never expect the Joker, the Baron from Amnesia, or Vath from Far Cry 3, or any other absolutely insane video game character to respond with that vanilla script. And that kind of scares us. And it scares us because we want to be able to know their response before they respond. Because if we know what they're going to do, we can plan for it. It's the same reason some gamers treat death in video games as a way to progress through that video game. Because we make plans to avoid what killed us the last time. And so we progress slowly but surely to that next checkpoint. If you can't guess what a stranger will do next, you will begin to feel a bit of anxiety. And that anxiety will only get worse when you realise that the stranger you're talking to is carrying a knife. So why do we always try to outsmart a horror game villain who's chasing you, supposedly, by doing things that if humans were chasing us, then we'd do to avoid them and it would work. And that has to do with understanding the human psyche. No matter how whacked out an individual is, we can always assume that they have basic human behaviours. But a creature unknown, we have no clue what to expect. And that makes us nervous. We can't understand the psychology of a ghoul, says Rakison, but we can understand better the psychology of a human trapped in a ghoul's body. Long story short, humans are scared when we don't know what's going on. When we're not with pretty people, actually just when we're alone in general. When children are being weird, when religion is being weird, spiders, anything snakes, anything. When it's dark, when someone responds in a way we're not expecting, and when we have to speak in front of a moderately sized crowd. Man, that absolutely sucks. It makes sense though, during times of playing horror games, you'll find yourself getting scared at the silliest things, like some dust or flames. Just, you turn a corner and there's a flame there, and then thing shakes, and boom, and you're absolutely shitting yourself. And then you'll realise you're basically always scared, which you are, and it's the anticipation of seeing whatever's scaring you. that scares us more than the actual jump scare it might be. Five Nights at Freddy's, I couldn't play more than a few minutes because I gave up when the lights got off. I just walked away to avoid the jump scare, but the anticipation made me even more scared about the jump scare and made it seem worse than it actually was. Tomorrow will be a similar video, but based on why we keep playing these games if they scare us so much. So, that's all for this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and as always, subscribe.